One question to ask if you want to prevent a them and us culture, and one question to consider if you're a candidate so you don't get into a them and us culture. When we communicate to each other, you, the sender, if you initiate the communication, send it to the receiver. You, the sender, have some intention and some expectations of your message and the way it will be responded to. The receiver will also have some intentions and expectations in regards to how they're going to send the message to you and how you will receive it. This flowchart or methodology or process or protocol is critical to understand, because if the expectations aren't met, then that's when there's conflict. When I worked on a mine site, the employees would often tell me about their evening phone calls to their partners. So they would ring their partner and the intention was connection, and the expectation was the partner would actively listen. The partner often, in many cases, had an intention, but it wasn't just connection. It was to undertake other tasks like washing, ironing, cooking. And their expectations would be that they would be listened to. However, it was all okay to undertake another task. Well, it wasn't. And the sender of the message, the person who made the phone call, was not happy. The negative consequences of not meeting expectations are that the sender feels disconnected and some degree of resentment. Resentment will trigger cortisol, the stress hormone, to be released throughout the body. This will interfere with the cognitive function, the thinking of the sender. This leads to more incidents and accidents, and this leads to decreased job performance and relationship satisfaction levels being decreased. This situation is between the supervisor and those operating the shovels or bulldozers. So the sender, which was the supervisor, had the intent that the person digging would comply and had the expectations that the person digging would comply. However, if you shout and are rude to the person who's doing the digging, you'll find that they have an intent, and that is to comply, but they will pay back, and they have an expectation that they're going to comply, they will get you off their back, and then they're going to pay you back. So how did they pay the supervisor back? Well, they dug into hard rock and broke the teeth on the shovel. This story happened time and time again. Do not think you can abuse people or be rude to people without some sort of payback. The negative consequences are, once again, the receiver was discontent and resentful. Cortisol was shot through their body, the stress hormone, and that interfered with their cognitive behavior. It led to more incidents, accidents. They hit hard rock. They broke the bucket, so there's more downtime, more lost time for the company. And there was decreased job and team satisfaction. And of course, really expensive shovel parts had to be found and put back on the bulldozer, and there were thousands of dollars. This situation was between the supervisor and the driver. The sender, the supervisor, their intention was compliance, and their expectations were you complied. The receiver, the driver, had an intent to comply, but they also had an intent to pay back. Their expectations, get you off my back, and I have paid you back. So how did they pay the supervisor back? They drove the trucks over sharp rock and tore up the tyres. Way back then, those tyres were worth $30,000 each. The negative consequences, once again, is the receiver, the driver, had discontent and was resentful. Cortisol, the stress hormone, was shot through their body. It interfered with their cognitive function, their thinking. It led to more incidents and accidents. Once again, they drove over sharp rock and tore the tyres. They had decreased job and team satisfaction, and expensive tyres had to be brought up from Perth to replace the ones they'd torn. Conversely, imagine if the sender had the intent of honouring values, be they respect, professionalism, collaboration, teamwork, and their whole communication was based on being respectful and collaborating and teamwork. And the receiver had the same values and the same intention. Can you see how powerful values training, and selecting people based on their values is? Training staff to communicate in alignment with the company's values is crucial for fostering a cohesive and positive work environment. It ensures that employees are on the same page. It ensures that the employees are working towards common goals. It promotes transparency. It improves internal communication. It enhances external interactions with clients. It enhances interactions with partners and other stakeholders. It enhances trust. It enhances collaboration. It enhances empathy. It provides a different perspective. It enhances respect. It strengthens relationships within the team. It fosters a positive company culture. Additionally, it helps prevent misunderstandings. It helps prevent conflicts. It improves overall productivity. It improves overall efficiency within the organisation. Training staff to communicate effectively in alignment with the company's values is a valuable investment in maintaining a healthy culture. For any candidate who is going for an interview, the question I would be asking is, how do you, company, interviewer, HR person, how do you align the company's values to the communication process? For the business owner, and if you want to prevent a them and us culture, and if you want to look after the mental well-being of your team, and if you want higher profits and productivity, the question I'll be asking myself is, how do we align the company's values to the communication process?